He's ready to go on the Fan, New York Sports Radio. Mike's on, Mike's on. He'll get you the sports any way that he can. It's Mike Francesa on the Fan. Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM WFAN.
From the studios of WFAN, this is Mike's on, Francesa on the Fan on this Thursday, the 9th day of November, as we head towards a football weekend. Last night, Knicks lose no Porzingis. McAdoo has not met the media since all these charges have been leveled about how he's lost the team. That's obviously what he is being confronted with everywhere. He does not meet the media again. He met it yesterday before this came out. He doesn't meet it again tomorrow, so he'll have to deal with it then. But the bigger indication is going to be how his team responds. That's the only way he gets things to cool down, is to have the Giants go out and beat a bad team this weekend. I told you that line would switch. It's already switched. It's gone to the Giants now 2.5. They'll probably be 4-point favorites by the time the game is played. And they should win that game. The Niners are not only young and bad, they're beat up. They're beat up actually worse than the Giants. So, if they lose this game, then there is a problem to the likes of which nobody will survive. So, I mean, this is one that's almost... part of this league is right place, right time, and getting the right opponent, right time. They actually got the right opponent. I mean, if they were on their way to, Kansas City this weekend or Pittsburgh, they'd be in a lot of trouble. They're on their way to a place where they should be able to just go out, make a couple of pass plays, run the ball, make a couple of plays on defense, respond. Teams usually have it's an old theory that teams that get shut out or teams that give up 50 will respond with a big effort the next week because they've been embarrassed on that side of the ball. So, I mean, that's just an old adage about that, so that would mean you would look for Denver to respond against New England. They're getting the other side of it. Denver's reeling. Their young coach is reeling. The quarterback situation a mess. The defense getting charged with quitting, and they get New England on a Sunday night on national TV. So they get the complete opposite side of it. But do not be surprised if they play a very spirited effort and can actually give New England some trouble in that game, because they do have a pass rush, and they do have a noisy building, a pass rush, and some corners who, if motivated, can make plays. So that would not surprise me. If that actually turned out to be a relatively close game, which would, I'm sure if you looked at recent weeks, would surprise people by how badly Denver's been beat up, but it wouldn't stun me. And the line in that game is relatively low compared to what you would expect it to be. So I would expect the Giants to be very motivated to play better this week, to come off that embarrassing effort. And I would expect the same thing from Denver, although in Denver probably won't be enough to win the game, but you never know. So, I mean, that's the point of that with McAdoo, as far as the idea is the best way. So what I would do tomorrow is say, hey, you know what? Things get blown out of control when you're losing. People grumble when you lose. We have things under control, and then go out and play well. That's really the only answer, because otherwise there's no other way to fight it, and there's no other evidence anybody buys except what their eyes tell them on Sunday. So that is really the answer that he needs. It has to come against the Niners on Sunday, and they caught the right team at the right time, since the Niners are not only 0-9, they're reeling. They have started to completely come apart in the last couple of weeks and get beat up very badly. Seahawks and the Cardinals tonight. The NFL week begins this Thursday night, as the Seahawks are on their way to take on Arizona. It's been a disappointing year for Arizona. They're 500, but they probably should have been better. Seahawks are a little up and down themselves. So with those two teams, you never know what you're going to get offensively. Sometimes you get nothing. So we'll see how that plays out. The other story is the Yankees, who actually are having conference calls for their managerial candidates, which is, listen, they are allowed to have any process they want when they hire a manager, but it's almost comical, the idea that they would put any any credence or emphasis on how a guy handles a conference call in the middle of November. Because it's not the same as, being in the midst of a 6-game losing streak and just having lost a 2-1 lead in the 8th inning because you put in a tired pitcher, a tired reliever who, walked the ballpark or whatever it might be. The situations are completely different. You cannot simulate that kind of intensity or that kind of crisis in November. It doesn't work. So, but hey, it's their dime. They can do what they want. They can choose to pick their guy any way they want. The bottom line is they're that worried about how a guy's going to handle the other specters of this job, then maybe, they should have either looked for somebody with experience or maybe not gotten rid of their manager. Because to go after it that way and worry that much about how things are going to be handled is almost comical. But we'll see what happens. We'll see where that leads them as they begin their process and have begun their process here. The Jets are down in Tampa, and actually, not that it matters, but really shouldn't be favored in the ball game. They're not a better team. Tampa's a trouble team. They don't have their quarterback, but they're playing with a quarterback who can play as well as we all know they're going to have a quarterback who's going to be motivated and a quarterback who on his best day can play. So it's not like the fall off there is going to be that great from Winston, who has been struggling. Tampa does have talent. Now, if you're going to base it on this season, yes, Tampa's only won 2 games, so you would base it on that. But we know they're home and they have the better players. The question is, can they put anything together in this battle of journeymen this week? But the Jets are getting a little bit of respect. They're the favorite in the game as they go down to take on the Bucs in a game where Fitz will be the quarterback for the Bucs, and obviously McCown, and a matchup of the most traveled 2 quarterbacks in the history of the league battling come this Sunday. So 2 different kind of football games. The battle of the journeymen in Florida for the Jets and the Bucs have been incredibly disappointing. And the Giants and the Niners against the winless Niners, and the Giants have been astonishingly disappointing to this point. And it looks like things are completely unraveling. Hey, we'll see. The evidence will be more based on performance than anything else, because that's really the only thing that should matter. Knicks ran out of gas last night. It was surprising to me that they were in the game as long as they were, and fell without Porzingis. No surprise there. They got a couple of days off as they get ready to play a couple of home games, one Saturday and then one on Monday night against the Cavs. So that's the story there. So we got a lot going on. We got the contest to get to. 2 more days to give you a chance to win tickets to go to the 11:15 primetime event at the Tillis Center. Also, you get a chance to be upgraded to the VIP tickets, which gets you onto the stage, and a chance to win $10,000 as we head towards Thanksgiving. That would be very nice for somebody. There's 5 good prizes anyway, from giant tickets and money to the opening day Yankee tickets to 2, 3, to $10,000. You get a chance to do all that. We'll give away an opportunity for that every hour. We're also going to give away some tickets to see the Nets play the Celtics. So you got that if you want to see the Celtics, who are playing well. So you got that coming up too. We'll get it all rolling right after that.